From Botswana, he was scheduled to go to Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, on a plane chartered by the African National Congress, ANC, but the plane was blown up by South Africans. However, the bomb that had been planted on the plane went off prematurely, before the plane was able to take off. Subsequently, the apartheid regime also tightened up the underground railway. Namibia's president and founding Prime Minister Hage Geingob died Sunday at age 82, and the Southern African nation quickly swore in his deputy to complete the term in office. Soft-spoken but firm on advancing Africa's agenda as an important stakeholder in world affairs, the exclusion of Africa from the Security Council is an injustice, he once said in a United Nations address. In January 2024, Geingob supported South Africa's ICJ genocide case against Israel, saying that no peace-loving human being can ignore the carnage waged against Palestinians in Gaza. He also criticized Germany for supporting Israel, citing the Herero and Nama genocide by colonial authorities in then German Southwest Africa. Geingob was born in Otjiwarongo, Southwest Africa, present-day Namibia, on August 3, 1941. Geingob was a prominent politician since before Namibia achieved independence from white minority-ruled South Africa in 1990. He received his early education at Otavi in Southwest Africa under the Bantu education system. He joined the Augustinium, where most of today's prominent political leaders of Namibia were educated, in 1958. In 1960, he was expelled from the Augustinium for having participated in a march in protest at the poor quality of education. He was, however, readmitted and finished the teacher training course in 1961. Subsequently, he took up a teaching position at the Tsumeb Primary School in central Namibia, but decided that he could not continue his own further education in Namibia. As a teacher, he also resented being forced to participate in the Bantu education system, Bantu Education Act, 1953. Therefore, at the end of the school year, he left his job to seek knowledge and instruction that could help him change the system. He and 3 of his colleagues walked and hitchhiked to Botswana to escape the system. From Botswana, he was scheduled to go to Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, on a plane chartered by the African National Congress, ANC, but the plane was blown up by South Africans. However, the bomb that had been planted on the plane went off prematurely, before the plane was able to take off. Subsequently, the apartheid regime also tightened up the underground railway. As a result, Geingob stayed in Botswana, where he served as Assistant Southwest Africa People's Organization, SWAPO, representative, 1963–64. Geingob was the first Prime Minister of Namibia from 1990 to 2002, and served as Prime Minister again from 2012 to 2015. Between 2008 and 2012, Geingob served as Minister of Trade and Industry. He also served as president of the ruling SWAPO party from 2017 until his death. He chaired the body that drafted Namibia's constitution, then became its first prime minister at independence on March 21 of that year, a position he retained until 2002. In 2007, Geingob became vice president of the governing Southwest Africa People's Organization, SWAPO, which he had joined as an agitator for independence when Namibia was still known as Southwest Africa. On March 21, 1990, Geingob was sworn in as the first Prime Minister of the Republic of Namibia, and on March 21, 1995, he was sworn in for a second term. He served in this capacity for 12 years. As Prime Minister, Geingob introduced modern management approaches to the government. He was also committed to nature conservation coupled with tourism, and in the early 1990s opened the Ongeva Lodge, just south of Etosha National Park, citation needed. At SWAPO's 2012 Party Congress, Geingob was re-elected as vice president on 2 December 2015, a result considered likely to make him the successor of Hifikepunye Pohamba as president of Namibia in 2015. Geingob received 312 votes from the delegates, while Jerry Ekanjo received 220 and Pendukini Ivuleithana 64. Following the Congress, Pohamba appointed Geingob Prime Minister on December 4, 2012. In November 2014, Gengob was elected President of Namibia by an overwhelming margin. He won the 2014 election with 87% of the vote. In November 2017, Gengob became the third president of SWAPO after winning by a large margin at the party's 6th Congress. In August 2018, Gengob began a one-year term as chairperson of the Southern African Development Community. He narrowly avoided a runoff with a little more than half the votes in a subsequent poll in November 2019. Soft-spoken but firm on advancing Africa's agenda as an important stakeholder in world affairs, the exclusion of Africa from the Security Council is an injustice, he once said in a United Nations address. While speaking to newspaper The Namibian in December 2016, he dared the United States to join the International Criminal Court to reassure African nations that the court is not particularly targeting Africans. He could be outspoken on issues at home and abroad. In January, he criticized former colonial master Germany for supporting Israel after South Africa filed a case against Israel at the International Court of Justice accusing it of genocide against Palestinians in Gaza. Germany cannot morally express commitment to the United Nations Convention Against Genocide, including atonement for the genocide in Namibia, whilst supporting the equivalent of a Holocaust and genocide in Gaza, Gengob said. He was referring to events between 1904 and 1908 when colonial security forces in Namibia killed tens of thousands of people while putting down an uprising. Germany in 2021 acknowledged that the actions amounted to genocide and pledged more than $1 billion for infrastructure projects in the country. Gengob was known to be a die-hard football fan and attended many high-profile games. He regularly attended the Namibia Annual Music Awards, NAMAs, and in his youth sang in a choir and played in a band. In 1967, Gengob married Priscilla Charlene Cash, a New York City native. The couple had one daughter, Nangila Jengos Dukes. Gengob later married Loini Kandum, a businesswoman, on September 11, 1993, in Windhoek, in a high-profile marriage which resulted in 2 children, a daughter and a son. Gengob initiated divorce proceedings against Kandum in May 2006, and he was granted a provisional divorce order in July 2008. Gengob married Monica Kolondo on February 14, 2015. His office said that medical tests revealed that he had cancerous cells. The 82-year-old would receive novel therapy in the US for a week before returning to continue with his treatment in Namibia, his office added. Vice President Nangolo Mamba will be acting president during his absence. In 2013, Gengob underwent brain surgery. Gengob later said that he survived prostate cancer in 2014. He underwent heart valve surgery in South Africa in June 2023. On January 8, 2024, Gengob announced that he was diagnosed again with cancer after a colonoscopy and a gastroscopy. He subsequently went for treatment in the United States on January 25 and returned to Namibia on January 30 following 2 days of treatment. On February 4, Vice President Nangolo Mbamba announced that Gengob had died at Lady Pohamba Hospital in Windhoek, where he had been receiving treatment. Mbamba was formally sworn into office as acting president of Namibia at a hastily arranged ceremony at State House in Windhoek, about 15 hours after Gengob's death. A government spokesperson said that Mbamba would serve the remainder of Gengob's term, which expires on March 21, 2025.